From the shadows of the Wasatch Front to the shores of the Great Salt Lake, you're listening to the Wynn to Scott Report, presented by UteFans.net, the original home for Ute fans.
All right, welcome to the Wynn to Scott Report, hosted by UteFans.net. I'm your host, Andy Brown, and we've got a special show for you today as we are here to talk about the newly crowned PAC12 champion Utah Utes. We're not just smelling roses anymore. We are officially invited to the granddaddy of them all in Pasadena against Ohio State on January 1st, 2022. So I have to mention a few things here really quickly, and I know you're all dying to hear what I have to say. Jordan and Kenneth, it's been fun hosting the show this season, and I know you're both grateful to me for the confidence I've shown in the Utes. I mean, I've practically carried you two on my shoulders through the ups and downs of the season. You are welcome. Next,
you're right.
Next, we haven't really given our worthy rivals down south the attention they deserve. Before we proceed, I think we need to put the spotlight on BYU. Let's take a look at the current college football playoff standings, which were released yesterday, to see where the Cougars are going into the postseason.
Yeah, the only.
Would you look at that? Just look at that.
Where are they going?
They're playing Bama.
Man,
Congratulations, Cougars, on your impressive ranking at 13. And while we're on the subject of BYU, let's take a gander at the Cougars' bowl invite this season.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Congratulations, Cougars. We're happy for your high ranking and for your salutations for our higher ranking and our invite to the most storied bowl game in college football history. So let's talk about the Pac-12 championship game, which we won, and then we'll move on to the Rose Bowl, which we were invited to. Many said we wouldn't beat Oregon twice, and many were wrong as the Utes marched into Las Vegas, now known as Salt Lake City South, and pummeled a team that was projected to go to the college football playoff this season 38-10 after a 38-7 drubbing in Salt Lake City on November 20th. So let's talk offense. In a game where Cam Rising threw 2 interceptions, the Utes put on a show for the ages. Now, Cam was able to shake off those picks and lead the Utes to the promised land, which was impressive. But think about where the Utes were, up by 2 scores in the second quarter, and they had the chance to blow the whole thing open, only to be flustered by Oregon's defense. After his second pick, Rising took the Utes 74 yards down the field and into the end zone to go up 20-0 with 8 seconds left in the second half.
But I'm not done yet.
After an interception off of Oregon quarterback Brown, Utah got into field goal range and went up 23-0 as time expired heading into the half. Rising was 15 for 24 for 170 yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions on the evening. He had a quarterback rating of 87.6, according to ESPN. He also rushed for 61 yards, including a 41-yard run, and came through big on a few quarterback sneaks in this contest. Tavion Thomas was somewhat quiet this game, running for 63 yards on 18 carries. Micah Bernard had 38 yards on 6 carries, and TJ Pledger had 20 yards on 5 carries, with Chris Curry getting 9 yards on 2 carries. We did have a fumble as Noah Sewell punched the ball out of Thomas's hands, but we recovered it. Thomas scored 2 touchdowns in the red zone, and Pledger added 1. Burton Covey had 5 receptions for 72 yards, while Kincaid had 4 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Kincaid was awesome this game, providing key blocks throughout the night. Our O-line was a little shaky at the beginning with a few false start penalties, but the unit only gave up 1 sack, which has proven to be a rarity this season. Rising looked like the player that was named team captain and kept his composure in the face of adversity, and has already cemented, in my opinion, his legacy as one of the greats to go through the University of Utah football program. Jay Wynn, what are your thoughts on the offense from this Pac-12 championship game?
Yeah, a couple things. First, little brothers down south, have fun in wherever you're going. Wherever, Shreveport, or whatever it is. Have fun with that one, man. God, had to get that out there. Offensively, man, just another solid night against a team that should have went to the playoff according to all the preseason polls. Another time of Kayvon Thibodeau not really doing a whole lot. Kudos to the front five. I mean, they handled him all night. Again, really a non-factor. Obviously, the 2 interceptions weren't ideal. Unfortunately, the defense got 2 interceptions, so the turnover battle was negated, zeros. I think, most importantly were just some of those longer drives that just kind of sustained the clock and kept them off the field. And, those are tough when teams are doing that and just consistently converting third downs. If you put in the third down and fourth down stat, Utah was 9 of 16. That's really impressive. That's over 50%. That's, again, if you're over 50%, you're going to be probably a top 10, maybe even top 5 offense in the country. So they did a good job staying on the field, extending drives. I thought they responded from the interceptions well. Cam had some phenomenal runs. He had his, iconic moment where he stiff armed Sewell down the field. And, all in all, just another good showing. Again, I'm glad the Pac-12 championship was in Vegas. I think we had just bad vibes in Santa Clara. We kind of got it off our back. Coach Witt won a Pac-12 championship, and they're rolling. And I'm so excited to watch them in the Rose Bowl. Great job by the offense overcoming the 2 picks. Great job getting a quick score, getting into field goal range. We'll talk about that when we get to the special teams part, but pretty solid night offensively.
Hey, Scott, what about you?
Man, look, man. Like we were saying in the pre-recording, I'm a happy big brother. I'm happy. Man, I'm just proud, to see where we've came from as far as the program to where we are now. Man, this offense, man, they did some good things this year. Points per game wise, efficiency wise, especially when Cam Rising at the helm. This game was no different. Yeah, the turnovers was crazy, but Noah Sewell made a heck of a play on that interception, and so did the other guy. Another interception. Cam did get blasted. I said, "Holy crud!" He got blasted and just skyrocketed. It was like one of those Madden bloopers, like the ball just went straight up in the air, like one of those Madden bloopers, and the dude just caught it. But nonetheless, man, the offense looked like they had some juice, even though the stats don't say it as far as the running back production. But I think they did pretty well, granted what they had. Tight ends, my man. Dude, Kincaid, he's going to have a long, long career, I believe. He's the ideal. But, yeah, man, offensively, we did our thing. We did what we were supposed to do. If you look at as far as the turnover battle, I think it was dead even. But offensively, man, we did our part. We scored 38 points again, and we continue to put points on the board. There were 2 times where we should have scored in the red zone, which would have put us near the 50-point mark. But in the Rose Bowl, we are going to, against Ohio State, we are going to need to convert those field goals into touchdowns and those red zone attempts into touchdowns so the game can be way out of hand rather than pretty close. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm pissed that I'm not going, but it's okay because I want to still be able to have a house to live in. And if I went, people would disown me, and I can't have that. So good luck to my boys. Jay Wynn is going to have a good time watching the offense explode in person. And so, yeah, man, that's my thoughts.
So let's pull up the bat signal. Okay, Scott, what are we looking at?
Why don't we?
I think we should.
Why don't
Let's
we?
do it. I think we should.
It's only right. So let's go. So the bat signal, I'm proud this week that it's going to be a receiver. Obviously, I couldn't put a receiver at any given time, but this time we're going to do the receiver again. And the reason why I put this play as the bat play is I felt like it set the tone for the down the field throw. Solomon Enos, who's a person that I love to watch because he does all the dirty work. He reminds me of like a Luke Matthews back in the day. He doesn't complain. He goes down blocks. He does the dirty work. When the opportunity at his hand, he takes advantage of it. So on this play, my guy was to the right. He's running a glance route, which is deeper than the slant, but shorter than a regular skinny post. It's in that happy median. He goes ahead, breaks it, makes a nice little catch on the ground. It's a low ball, nice little catch. But, however, it was a big gain for like about 15 yards, able to secure the first down. In that moment, I was like, okay, this is going to be good for our receivers. We're going to have some type of production today. And so that was good for him to see, man. I'm glad he finally got the opportunity. So he gets the bat signal. My guy, Mr. Enos. Let's get it.
So let's talk defense. Man, these guys have really improved this season. In our 2 games with Oregon, they've only allowed 17 points. In the championship game, Utah's D only
Crazy.
allowed 221 total yards, which was Oregon's worst offensive performance of the season. Oregon's obviously second worst performance also came against the Utes on the 20th of November when they only accrued 294 yards of total offense. The rest of the season, Oregon averaged 447 yards a game.
That's crazy.
The game plan was to stop the run, and Utah succeeded. We shut down Anthony Brown yet again, prevented him from running, which is a big part of his game. Travis Dye had 82 yards and a touchdown, but 26 of those and the touchdown came in the fourth quarter in garbage time. If you watched his lone touchdowns, you guys noticed this, he barely was able to extend, over the goal line. Dye only had 17 yards in the first half, and as a whole, Utah allowed only 74 yards rushing. Oregon's quarterback had to try and beat Utah through the air after going down 23-0 at halftime. Obviously, that didn't go very well for him. Brown was 13 for 24 for 147 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, including that bizarre pick just before the half that set up that Utah field goal. Brown's quarterback rating was 7.7 out of 100. He was sacked 4 times and never got into a groove in the biggest game of the season. The future first-round draft pick Devin Lloyd was deservedly named the MVP of the championship game. And was rewarded.
Top five.
Yeah, was rewarded for returning to Utah this season with his best game as a Ute on the biggest stage. Game took a turn when Devin picked off Brown and returned it 34 yards for a touchdown that put the Ute up 14-0 in the first quarter. And he also had 7 tackles. A good bet would be that Lloyd will be the first linebacker to go in the draft next April. How about freshman safety Cole Bishop, who had 8 tackles, a sack, and a pass breakup? This Georgia boy, he's amazing. Van Fillinger, another freshman, had 7 tackles, half a sack, and 1.5 tackles for loss. Clark Phillips broke up 2 passes. Case Scott, what do you think about the defense from this game?
Man, what not to expect, man. The one thing I love is Scally, man. The way he dials up his defenses, I was looking at I was just focusing on the shell of his defense and how he disguises so well. And I'm like, dude, I'm freaking love it. It's pretty dope. I know that was kind of nerdish, I guess, football talk, but I love watching how he just schemes. It's so freaking cool. I'm like, dang, Scally, that's pretty dope. It's just pretty cool. But defensively, that's something that we're about, man. Utah, we're about our defense and shoot, they did their thing. When Devin Lloyd got the interception and picked it up for 6, I was like, oh yeah, game's over. Honestly, to be honest with you. And one of the things that I love so much is the energy. And it wasn't just one player making plays, 2 players. It was a lot of people making plays. The guy Cole Bishop, man, I love it. The dude is out there balling, and it's everybody just so young. They was talking about just how young our defense is and the potential that they have. It's just crazy. Honestly, when I first seen Oregon in the beginning of the year playing against Ohio State, I was like, oh my God, I'm scared. But now, after we literally just make them quit. It's crazy. If you see their body language on the field, I'm like, yo, you made this team quit. Literally. I don't know if they got word that Cristobal was going to Miami mid-season or something, and they just threw in the towel or something. I don't know. But these guys, you can just tell in their body language that they just quit. And that's kudos to our defense for imposing their will on them. Simple and plain.
Oh, Jay Wynn, what about you?
Bye-bye Mario Cristobal. He said, I'm out from Miami after that. He didn't want to see them
really did
anymore. He just man, I'm tired of Utah. It's crazy to hold Oregon to 220 yards. I don't know when the last time. You probably have to go back, maybe even before Chip Kelly got there, that they got held to that low of a total. But no, they did what a good Utah defense always does. They took away the run. They made them one-dimensional. They were 3 of 12 on third down. You're not winning many football games. you know, they just did their thing. Lloyd, I think, cemented himself as probably the best defender. I mean, it's probably a 1A and 1B between him and Weddle. As the best defender in Utah history. Like, I think that pick six probably cemented him in that. I don't know who I would take, him or Weddle. That's tough, but man, I'm
he up there with Weddle.
Man, he's up there in my mind. That guy is incredible. Making plays on the biggest stage.
California in them.
Man, constantly around the ball. And you know, it's just fun to watch, man. They're so dominant. And I got a message for Lincoln Riley, man. Good luck when you come into Salt Lake. I don't care if you're at USC. You haven't seen the defense like that in the Big 12, man. Good luck coming into Salt Lake and playing this defense. So that goes out to anyone, man, that wants to come. That's, you know, I don't think people realize how hard this defense is. And I mean, me and K Scott got unique situations where we got to go against that every single day.
Every day, man.
And you would think it's like just, hey, beat man coverage, and it's not. It's exotic. They bring pressures. They show man. They don't play man. You know, and they get to the quarterback without really pressuring a whole lot. I mean, even when Scally dials up a pressure, like very rarely is it a zero pressure. There's still guys in coverage. So just another fantastic job, really, by the defense. You know, they say get better, and that's what all you can do. Oregon, you got better. You scored 10 instead of 7. Kudos. But other than that, man, another dominant performance, and big test coming up. We'll do that on the preview show. Big test for the defense coming up against this Ohio State offense, but it's going to be fun to watch.
So,
you know what's crazy? One more thing.
Go ahead.
You know what's crazy? One more thing. Like, I remember, I think it was a couple years ago, there was a linebacker from Penn State that had transferred into Utah, and they were like talking about how he was going to be the big guy. He's going to be the next whoever. And it's just so crazy how, like, just Devin Lloyd just makes you forget about anybody that ever transferred into the program, even though the guy ended up leaving. But still, it's like, dang, it's crazy. It's just crazy. Like, what could have been if he probably would have stayed? Like, would, you know, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Who was that?
I forgot his name.
I remember that guy. Didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what? He leave the program like really fast?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. To do some business or something like that.
That was the guy. I remember that guy. Yeah.
I was like, dang. Okay.
So special teams
Couldn't
ended
wait.
up having their best performance of the season against the Ducks. How about Jaden Redding?
Man, 50-yarder.
50-yarder in the first half.
Man.
Which put the Utes up by 23. That is, in fact, the longest field goal of his career. No surprise there. We all knew that. Both punts by Michael Williams were over 50 yards, and both landed inside the 20-yard line. Britton Covey had that one really nice kick return of 39 yards. Obviously, the only mishap came during the extra point attempt after Rising's pass to Kincaid to make the score 20-0. Williams, the holder, couldn't handle that high snap from JT Greer, and they tucked it and tried to throw it. So
I
was kind of hoping we convert on that 2-point.
That looked rough.
So how are you feeling about special teams going to the Rose Bowl, K. Scott?
Man, we're gonna have to have some type of breakout play come from the special teams, whether it's a forced turnover or a return for a touchdown. Something has to happen in the special teams game to where it just flips momentum at a certain point of time. And another thing I forgot, you know, speaking of the offense, going back a little bit, is that we started the game off with the ball first again.
They deferred. It wasn't us.
Yeah.
They deferred.
That's true. I was like, dang, we got started the ball.
Mistake.
It's crazy. Mistake. So don't ever do that. But special teams wise, man, I just feel like if we can nail down our field goal things, obviously it's going to come at a certain point of time. It's going to be it may be a close game. It may be. And so we just got to make sure Reading is ready. And then we got to have some type of game breaker or momentum shifter in special teams, whether it's pinning the ball at the 2-yard line or Covey on the big return to either touchdown or super huge that just changed the whole momentum, or the punt return team like changing the field positioning so that it could be longer drives for Ohio State. So I'm looking for the special teams to step up in a big way as far as, you know, making some momentum shifters in the game. So that's where I come from.
Jordan, special teams.
Yeah, it was solid. I mean, hit a 50-yarder right before half was huge off of a really just like, I don't know what Brown was thinking, jumping in the air, just throwing it. That was a bad play by him, and
He
we
said F
capitalized.
it.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous when we lined up for the 50-yarder. I was like, oh man, please just don't get it blocked or don't let a kick six happen like it did Alabama a few years ago. Like just whatever, and he piped it. So good for him. Kickoff team was good. Kickoff return did good. Punt return was good. I think, yeah, the one mishap was just the high snap, and then the just like that was a bad looking play, trying to run right and throw it. And luckily they didn't. I was like nervous that they were going to catch it and run it back and get 2 points at that point when he kind of like. I was like not great looking. But other than that, I mean, we just need to play Oregon apparently, and special teams figures it out. Like I feel like the last of the few times we played them, they've been pretty solid. So, yeah, solid outing by special teams. Great job. Won all three phases. Won. And that's what you got to do in the big game, and that's what you got to do against a good opponent, and look what happens.
So it's time for the only thing better than a Rose Bowl appearance. Jordan.
Winning moment.
And a winning moment. This was tough. I almost picked the Devin Lloyd pick six as the winning moment. I almost picked that because I was like, it was funny. We were down in Phoenix celebrating my wife's 30th birthday. Happy birthday, Britt. If you listen to the show, hopefully. But I got to get her to listen. Dang it.
She's like, I'm listening to it.
Yeah,
now.
right. And
you're in the other room. I'm listening.
We were watching on the plane, and then we landed. So we, had to turn it off, and then we're getting off, and I'm like, British 14-0. What happened? We pull it up, pick six. So I went back and watched it, and that was just a great play by Lloyd, jumping the check down route. And so it was close for that being the winning moment. I think at kind of that point in time, being 14-0, there was a lot of game left. So not quite my winning moment. My winning moment is the TD pass to Kincaid right before half. Obviously, we got the turnover and ended up getting 3 more points before half, but that was a great drive. They took a ton of clock off. I think they scored with like 40 seconds left or 38 seconds left, somewhere around there. And it was just a momentum, just a backbreaker, I think, for Oregon. If you go in 14-0, you're still in it. You're obviously having issues, but you go into half, not knowing it's going to be 23-0, but you're down 3 scores. And that's tough, especially against this Ute defense. And so I think from that moment on, I thought Oregon looked pretty dejected. I thought they really didn't care to. I mean, obviously they care to be out there, but they didn't show it, and they didn't play that way. And you look at the next series, Brown throws a crazy jump pass while he's running out of bounds right to our guy. So that was my winning moment. I'll break it down on the plan to win because that was a great route by Kincaid. He runs a little corner post. Cam does a good job holding his eyes to the field. They ran I don't think they call it swamp, K. Scott, but I know you remember swamp, Delta Swamp.
Yes, Jeremy Brooks, baby.
Yes, exactly. That's basically what that was. It was just with Kincaid. And he did a phenomenal job with his route. Rising put it right on the money, kind of in between that soft spot in the zone. And I mean, you couldn't draw it up any better. Great play call, great execution, go up 20-0. And from there, I mean, I think everybody was feeling it. It was roses from there.
So before we jump into a quick Rose Bowl preview, I'd like to let our listeners and viewers know that we will be doing a special pregame show in the days leading up to the Rose Bowl, as well as our usual postgame show and game analysis with Jordan afterwards. So guys, we're taking on the Buckeyes for the first time since 1986. Last time it didn't go very well for the Utes. So on New Year's Day 2022, it's Utah versus Ohio State. Ohio State has a lot of talent offensively, especially in the receiving core. Those guys are good. And as usual, they are packed with a lot of 5-star recruits. Oregon managed to find a way around them earlier in the season. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Kenneth?
We're ready. We're ready. That's it. we're ready. I mean, if Oregon can beat them, we can beat them. I mean, in Michigan, I don't think we ever lost to Michigan. Well, I mean, in my era, we ain't ever lost to Michigan. But I mean, come on, man. Just like I ain't gonna steal Jay Wynn's analysis, but we are like a certain team that they just lost to. And Jay Wynn's gonna talk about it. But I think we're gonna get that W. We're gonna get that W. Our defense is gonna throw so many disguises at this QB. He's gonna make some mistakes. And our defenders is gonna have to pick them off. No pass deflections, actually pick them off. And they will do that. And we're gonna win 34-28.
Oh, okay. Predictions.
I got a question actually about the D, because obviously our D is really good.
Okay, I got to say,
everyone in Utah always has good D.
Right. But so what I was going to say was that we had an injury in the secondary, didn't we? Aren't we a little thin at cornerback?
Vaughn, yes.
Yeah. So we're a little thin.
Vaughn,
That's one thing. Those receivers at Ohio State's got are really, really good. So I'm wondering, we lost Aaron Lowe, obviously, too, So wondering, Kenneth, maybe what you think about that, because that might be a big difference maker with a team that deep at receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah, and they got three of them. Like three. So dang. Clark Phillips, Malone plays.
Yeah, he's like the nickel. He's like the nickel safety. Malone is.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a wild card right there.
Hey man, pick up the rifle, dude. Just like what Kyle said. Next man up.
Pick that thing up. Next man up. We good.
Pick up that rifle.
I just remember, who was that player?
It's gonna be tough.
We had cornerback issues in the Pac-12 championship in 2019, and that really hurt us.
Yeah.
I remember we got smoked because of that. So, Jay Wynn, what do you think?
Hey,
about
look,
this
I don't look at things in the past. We're not looking at that thing in the past. I don't know what game you're referring to, sir. But this is the Rose Bowl 2022, sir.
What was I talking about? I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know.
It must have happened like sometime in the past. So, Jay Wynn, what do you think? Ohio State, Utah, what do you think? Just a brief preview.
I think obviously the matchup to watch is the Ute secondary versus Ohio State's receiving core. Everybody's going to talk about it. Everyone's going to discuss it. Everyone's going to break it apart. Look, I mean, like K. Scott said, what I was talking about, I think you go back and watch the Big Ten championship against Michigan. I mean, we're built identical to Michigan, very similar. I think we spread them out a little bit more than what Michigan does, but I mean, Michigan's back had 5 touchdowns against them. Really controlled the clock, ran it on them all day. Kind of threw a couple gadgets at them early to steal some of the momentum. So I really think we can do the same. Oregon got them early on, so obviously this is why you join the Pac-12, right? To go to the granddaddy of them all, to play in Ohio State. And so the Utes got to come out, have a good preparation. Coach Witt's track record would speak to that. He's fantastic in both. I think he's only lost 2 bowl games, maybe. I'm not sure.
Witt?
Yeah, how many bowl games has he lost?
We lost one. Boise State.
We lost 1 in 10 to Boise.
And then Northwestern the other year.
Okay, that's right. So maybe he's lost what, 3 total in, I think, 17 years, 16 years.
I think that's right.
He does a good job. He knows what he's doing in bowl prep. So again, that's the beauty of going to a New Year's Day bowl, is you have almost a month to prep for them. So I know we'll come out with a game plan for their offense. I think that's going to be really the matchup everyone's going to be looking for. But it's, how do you combat a good offense? Hold on to the football, sustain drives, and that's something that our offense has shown that they can do. We can run the football, we can convert on 3rd down, we can stay on the field, keep those 3 Ohio State receivers cold on the sideline, and I think that's how you get the thing done. And last thing I'll add, and whatever you believe in symbolism, man, 22. It's first day of the year 22. That number's been with the program this whole year with Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, man. There's things that are written that we don't know about, and we're just watching them play out. And I think this is one of those things. And I could be wrong. Ohio
Mhm.
State's a good football team. They're not going to come out and say, "Oh,
Mm.
we're gonna, it's the year 22. We're gonna let Utah win." They want to win the Rose Bowl. So, but I just think, man, it's those two guys. Those two guys are looking down on this team and with them every step, and there's just weird things that have happened this whole year, and you can't explain it other than
Right.
it's just destiny. It's already been written, and so it'll be fun to do the pregame show with you guys. We can really dive into these matchups, but I'm going to hold off on my score prediction until then. K Scott, I like your prediction though a lot.
I just feel it in my
It's gonna be
gut,
cool.
so I have to say
Man,
it.
I love it. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to be there. Like K Scott mentioned, I mean, I think both of us are just so proud to have been in the program, played in the program. Man, to watch these, man, it's wild. It's wild to watch the trajectory and it come full circle. And so it'll be awesome to watch. It'll be awesome to watch these guys play January 1st.
I might cry.
Utes win. That's my prediction. I'm not going to give a score prediction yet, but Utes win. I'll say that. I really do believe that.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. And I'm gonna record it too. I'm gonna cry. I feel it. I'm about to cry right now.
Man.
I'll cry if we lose.
Man. Andy, don't bring your pessimist talk into the man. Don't bring that into the pregame breakdown. We don't need that, Andy. We don't need that for the special show. We don't need that.
All I was doing was acknowledging the same thing that we would all do, if we lost. So, all right. So that brings us to the end of our show this evening. Does it feel good to be champions again? It's been a hell of a season, and we appreciate all your support for our new show. Feel free to hit us up on Twitter, and we'll see you the week of the Rose Bowl. Go Utes, baby.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for listening to the Wynn to Scott Report, presented by UteFans.net. Join us next time for more exclusive insider analysis from two of your favorite former players. We are the original home for Ute fans.